Tell me about yourself. 4 words that somehow make everyone's mind go completely blank.
I've got a real interview tomorrow, and I am not okay. So today, Dylan's actually going to run a mock interview with me, live, right now.
And we're not just doing this for fun. Real interview questions, real coaching, and afterward, every expression we use, broken down so you can actually use them yourself, whether you're prepping for an interview or just talking about one.
Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to English in Other Words, the podcast where we help you sound more natural in English, one real conversation at a time. I'm Emma.
And I'm Dylan. First, a natural conversation between me and Emma, today with an actual mock interview built in. Then, right in this same video, we break everything down.
Today's topic, job interviews, nerves, and how to actually get through one. Let's get into it.
Okay, so how are you feeling about tomorrow?
Terrified, if I'm being real. I keep going back and forth between feeling ready and completely panicking.
That's totally normal. Have you prepped answers, or are you hoping to wing it?
I've prepped some, but I still feel like I'm going to blank the second I sit down.
Have you researched the company much, or done a mock interview, or anything?
I've done a good amount of research, actually. Looked into their recent projects, read a few interviews with the founder, that kind of thing.
That's smart. A lot of people skip that part, and it really shows in the interview.
I figured it'd help me ask better questions too, not just answer them.
Definitely. Is this in person or over video?
Video, actually, which honestly adds its own layer of stress, worrying about eye contact with a camera instead of a person.
That's a real thing. People forget how different video interviews feel. Little tip, look at the camera when you're actually talking, not the screen. It reads as eye contact on their end.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's such a simple fix.
It makes a bigger difference than people expect. Okay, let's actually do this properly then. Let me run a mock interview with you right now. Treat me like the interviewer.
Oh gosh, okay. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, thanks for coming in. So, tell me a bit about yourself.
Sure, so I've been working in marketing for about 4 years now, mostly focused on social media strategy, and I'm really passionate about.
Okay, pause. That was fine, but it felt a little rehearsed and generic. What actually makes you interesting for this specific role?
That's fair. I think I panicked and just gave the safe answer.
Totally understandable, but that question is basically your chance to put your best foot forward right at the start. Try connecting it to something specific about this job.
Okay, let me try again. I've spent the last 4 years growing social engagement for a couple of smaller brands. And what really excites me about this role is that you're doing something similar, but at a scale I haven't worked at yet.
That's so much better. See, now you're actually selling yourself instead of just listing facts.
That does feel more natural, actually.
Okay, next question. What would you say is your greatest weakness?
Um, I think sometimes I care too much about the details.
Haha, okay. That's the classic fake weakness answer. Interviewers hear that constantly, and it doesn't land well.
I know. But what am I supposed to say instead?
Pick something real, but pair it with what you're actually doing about it. That shows self awareness instead of a rehearsed non answer.
Okay, let me actually think about this honestly. I used to really struggle with delegating. I wanted to control every detail myself. But over the last year, I've been intentionally handing off smaller tasks to my team, and it's actually made our output better.
That's a completely different answer. That one actually hits the nail on the head. Real weakness, real growth, no fake humility.
Okay, that genuinely felt better to say too.
Good. All right, harder one. Tell me about a time you handled a conflict at work.
Oh no, that one always throws me off.
That's such a common one, though, and there's actually a simple structure for it. Have you heard of the STAR method?
I've heard of it, but I've never really used it properly.
It's genuinely useful. Situation, task, action, result. Set up the situation quickly, say what your role was, explain what you actually did, then say what happened because of it.
Okay, let me try that structure. So, situation. A coworker and I disagreed on how to handle a client's feedback. Task. I needed us to align before the deadline. Action. I set up a quick call, we talked through both approaches, and we ended up combining parts of each. Result. The client actually loved the final version, and we've collaborated more smoothly ever since.
That was so much stronger. Specific, structured, and it actually shows how you think, not just that a conflict happened.
That structure genuinely helps. Having something to hang the answer on instead of rambling.
Right, that's exactly why it works so well under pressure. Okay, one more, and this one's a classic. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Honestly, probably still in marketing. Hopefully in a leadership role by then.
That's fine, but try tying it back to growing, specifically within a company like this one, not just marketing in general. Shows you're not just using this as a stepping stone.
That makes sense. I'd love to grow into a leadership role, ideally within a company like this one, where I can keep developing the kind of strategy work I'm passionate about.
Perfect. Okay, last one, and people always forget. This matters. Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, I actually haven't thought that far ahead.
You really need at least two or three ready. It shows genuine interest, and not asking anything can actually hurt you.
What kind of questions usually work well?
Something about the team, something about what success looks like in the role, maybe something about challenges the team's currently facing. Shows you're already thinking like you work there.
Okay, I'll come up with a few tonight. All right, how do you think that went overall?
Genuinely, way better than I expected. You clearly know your stuff inside and out. You just needed to stop giving the safe, generic answers.
That's really reassuring, actually. I think the star thing alone is going to help so much tomorrow.
It really does simplify things under pressure. Are you nervous about anything specific, or just general nerves at this point?
Mostly just general nerves, if I'm being honest. I always worry I'll get caught off guard by something I didn't prep for at all.
That happens to everyone. Best you can do is stay calm if it happens, take a second, and just answer as honestly as you can.
That's fair. I think I put so much pressure on giving the perfect answer instantly.
Most interviewers really don't expect instant perfection. A short pause to keep your cool actually comes across as thoughtful, not weak.
That helps. Okay, well, wish me luck for tomorrow.
You've got this. Text me the second it's over. I want to hear everything. Hey, how did it go?
Oh my gosh! So much better than I expected.
Tell me everything.
So the tell me about yourself question came up first. Pretty much like we practiced. And I actually felt confident answering it this time.
That's such a good sign. Starting strong usually sets the tone for the whole thing.
Right. And then they asked almost the exact conflict question we practiced. So I used the star structure, and it came out so much clearer than it would have otherwise.
I love that. The practice actually paid off directly.
Completely. There was one question that still caught me off guard, though. They asked about my salary expectations, and I froze for a second.
Oh, that one's always tricky. What did you end up saying?
I gave a rough range, based on what I'd researched beforehand, and said I was open to discussing it further, depending on the full offer.
That's actually a solid answer. Gives a number without boxing yourself in completely.
That's what I was going for. Felt a little shaky in the moment, but it worked out.
Did you feel like you brought something to the table that made you stand out from the crowd?
I think so, actually. I mentioned a specific campaign I ran that directly ties to what they're trying to do, and I could tell it landed well.
That's precisely the kind of thing that makes you memorable, instead of just another interview that blurs together for them.
That's the hope, at least. I also asked the questions we talked about, and one of them led to this whole extra conversation about a challenge their team's currently facing.
Oh, that's great. That usually means you actually got them talking instead of just reciting answers back and forth.
It really did feel more like a real conversation by the end, less like an interrogation.
That's genuinely the best sign there is. What happens next? Did they give you a timeline?
They said they'd be in touch by the end of the week. So now I'm just trying not to obsessively check my email every 5 minutes.
Yeah, the waiting is genuinely the worst part. The ball's in their court now, though. Nothing more you can do at this point.
That's true. I sent a thank you email right after, just to leave one more good impression before they decide.
Smart move. A lot of people skip that, and it genuinely does help you stand out a little more.
That's what I'm hoping. Whatever happens, I feel like I gave it everything I had this time, which feels different from past interviews.
That's genuinely the goal. Going in and knowing you gave your best shot, regardless of the outcome.
Right. I think even if this specific one doesn't work out, I feel like I actually have what it takes now to handle the next one so much better.
That's such a good takeaway, bigger than just this one interview. Have you thought about what you'll do if they actually come back with an offer?
A little, though I haven't fully prepared for that conversation yet.
Worth thinking through now, honestly, so you're not caught off guard again if it happens fast.
That's fair. I think my instinct would be to just accept whatever they offer, out of relief more than strategy.
That's really common, but you're allowed to negotiate, even a little. Most companies actually expect some back and forth.
That's good to know. I always feel like negotiating might annoy them or make them reconsider.
It really doesn't, as long as you're reasonable and polite about it. Worst case, they just say the number is firm.
That does take some of the pressure off, knowing it's not some huge risk to just ask.
Exactly. And even just asking about the full package, benefits, remote flexibility, not just salary, can make a real difference.
That's a good reminder. I was only really thinking about the number itself.
Totally understandable given the nerves, but it's worth having a rough plan for that conversation too, not just the interview itself.
I'll think that through tonight as well, just in case.
Smart. Fingers crossed you even get to that stage.
Fingers crossed for the rest of the week, I guess.
Fingers crossed. Seriously, so proud of you for pushing through the nerves and actually doing the prep work.
Thank you. That means a lot. I'll let you know the second I hear back.
Please do. Go celebrate a little tonight. Either way, you earned it, regardless of what they say.
I just might. Talk soon.
Talk soon.
Okay, that's the full conversation, mock interview and all. Now let's break down everything you just heard. Every expression, one by one, with an extra example for each so you can start using them yourself.
Let's get into it. 1. Go back and forth, Emma said. I keep going back and forth between feeling ready and completely panicking. This means switching repeatedly between two feelings, opinions, or options. Example: I went back and forth on whether to take the job.
Here's another way to use it. We went back and forth on the venue for weeks before deciding.
2. Wing it, I said. Have you prepped answers, or are you hoping to wing it? This means doing something without much preparation, improvising in the moment. Example: I didn't study, so I'm just going to wing it.
Another example. We didn't have a plan, so we just winged the whole presentation.
3. Blank, Emma said. I still feel like I'm going to blank the second I sit down. This means suddenly forgetting everything, especially under pressure. Example: I totally blanked during my presentation.
Here's another way to use it. She blanked on his name the second he walked over.
4. Put your best foot forward, I said. That question is basically your chance to put your best foot forward right at the start. This means making the best possible impression, especially at the beginning of something. Example: first impressions matter, so put your best foot forward.
Another example, she always puts her best foot forward on the first day of a new job.
5. Sell yourself, I said. Now you're actually selling yourself instead of just listing facts. This means presenting your skills and qualities persuasively, especially to make a good impression. Example: you need to sell yourself more confidently in interviews.
Here's another way to use it. He's terrible at selling himself, even though his work speaks for itself.
6. Hit the nail on the head, I said. That one actually hits the nail on the head. This means describing something exactly right, getting precisely to the point. Example: her feedback really hit the nail on the head.
Another example, you hit the nail on the head with that explanation.
7. Throw someone off, Emma said. That one always throws me off. This means to confuse or disrupt someone's composure or focus. Example: the unexpected question threw me off completely.
Here's another way to use it. The sudden change in plans threw the whole team off.
8. The STAR method: situation, task, action, result. I said situation, task, action, result. This is a structured technique for answering behavioral interview questions, describing the situation, your role, what you did, and the outcome. Example: use the STAR method to keep your interview answers clear and structured.
Another example, I always prep a few star stories before any interview now.
9. Under pressure, I said. Exactly why it works so well under pressure. This describes performing or acting while stressed or facing difficult conditions. Example: she stays so calm under pressure.
Here's another way to use it. He tends to make mistakes under pressure, but he's working on it.
10. A stepping stone, I said, shows you're not just using this as a stepping stone. This describes something used as a step toward a bigger goal, often implying it's not the final destination. Example: he saw the internship as a stepping stone to a full-time role.
Another example, this job could be a great stepping stone toward management.
11. Know something inside and out, I said. You clearly know your stuff inside and out. This means understanding something completely and thoroughly. Example: she knows the product inside and out.
Here's another way to use it. He knows this city inside and out. He's lived here his whole life.
12. Caught off guard, Emma said. I always worry I'll get caught off guard by something I didn't prep for. This means being surprised by something unexpected in a way that leaves you unprepared. Example: that question caught me completely off guard.
Another example, the sudden question about salary caught her off guard.
13. Keep your cool, I said. A short pause to keep your cool actually comes across as thoughtful, not weak. This means staying calm, especially in a stressful or difficult situation. Example: he always manages to keep his cool under pressure.
Here's another way to use it. She kept her cool even when the flight got delayed twice.
14. Set the tone, I said. Starting strong usually sets the tone for the whole thing. This means establishing the mood or direction for something that follows. Example: a confident opening sets the tone for the whole presentation.
Another example. A calm morning really sets the tone for my whole day.
15. Box yourself in, I said. Gives a number without boxing yourself in completely. This means limiting your own future options or flexibility, often unintentionally. Example: don't box yourself into one answer too early in the negotiation.
Here's another way to use it. She didn't want to box herself in with a strict deadline.
16. Bring something to the table, I said. Did you feel like you brought something to the table that made you stand out? This means contributing valuable skills, experience, or ideas to a situation. Example: she really brings a lot to the table with her design background.
Another example. Every member of the team brings something different to the table.
17. Stand out from the crowd, I said. That makes you stand out from the crowd. This means being noticeably different or better than others in a group. Example: you need a strong portfolio to stand out from the crowd.
Here's another way to use it. Her unique approach really made her stand out from the crowd.
18. Land well, Emma said. I could tell it landed well. This means being received positively, making a good impression. Example: the joke didn't really land well with that audience.
Another example. Her answer landed really well with the panel.
19. The ball is in someone's court, I said. The ball's in their court now. Nothing more you can do at this point. This means it's now someone else's responsibility to take the next action or make a decision. Example: I've sent the proposal, so the ball's in their court now.
Here's another way to use it. I've said my piece. The ball's in his court now.
20. Leave a good impression, Emma said. I sent a thank you email right after, just to leave one more good impression. This means making others think positively of you, especially after an interaction. Example: a firm handshake helps leave a good first impression.
Another example. She always leaves a good impression, even in short meetings.
21. Give it everything you had, Emma said. I feel like I gave it everything I had this time. This means putting in maximum effort, holding nothing back. Example: he gave it everything he had in the final round.
Here's another way to use it. She gave it everything she had, even though she was exhausted.
22. Have what it takes, Emma said. I actually have what it takes now to handle the next one so much better. This means possessing the necessary skills, qualities, or courage for something. Example: I believe you have what it takes to succeed in this role.
Another example. She's proven she has what it takes to lead the team.
23. Fingers crossed, Emma said. Fingers crossed for the rest of the week, I guess. This is a common expression of hope, wishing for a good outcome. Example: fingers crossed, we hear back soon.
Here's another way to use it. Fingers crossed, the weather holds up for the wedding.
24. Firm on a number or decision. I said, worst case, they just say the number's firm. This means fixed or non negotiable, especially regarding a price or decision. Example: the price is firm. They won't go any lower.
Another example. The deadline is firm, so we need to plan around it.
25. The full package, I said. Asking about the full package, benefits, remote flexibility, not just salary. This refers to the complete set of compensation and benefits offered, not just the base salary. Example: when evaluating a job offer, look at the full package, not just the paycheck.
Here's another way to use it. The full package included health insurance and extra vacation days. All right, Quick rapid-fire quiz before we wrap up. I'll give a mini definition. You guess the expression. Ready?
Ready. Hit me.
Number 1. A structured way to answer behavioral interview questions.
The STAR method.
Nice. Number 2. Being surprised by something you weren't prepared for.
Caught off guard.
Number 3. It's now someone else's turn to act or decide.
The ball is in their court.
And last one. Possessing the skills or courage needed for something.
Have what it takes. Did I get them all?
4 for 4. Nicely done. All right, that's it for this one. A real mock interview, real coaching, and the full breakdown, all in one place.
And if you've got an interview coming up, remember the STAR method, prep a couple questions of your own to ask, and know that a short pause to think is never a bad thing.
Genuinely useful advice, not just for English, for the interview itself.
Thanks so much for watching.
If you want more of these, subscribe. New real conversations every week.
Hope to see you next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.